Hey you! Yes, you! Have you ever wanted to get all 100% of the achievements in The Binding of Isaac, but you just don't have the skill to beat Greedier Mode on the Lost? Well, fret not, my putrid amigo. Have I got the plan for you? Follow these 3 easy steps, and you too will get that little red mark on your post-it note. But seriously though, if you want to figure out how to beat the Lost on Greedier Mode, stay tuned to find out. What's up everybody, my name is ingeniousclown, and let's just go over this run that I did that was wildly successful in spite of my fears that it wouldn't be. This is not going to be live gameplay, this is going to be a snipped and cut together victory episode. So those of you who aren't aware, I've been playing The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus on my gameplay channel, and when it comes to The Binding of Isaac, I'm kind of a completionist. I love this game so much that I don't mind spending as much time as it takes to get every single achievement and every single unlock in the game. So naturally that means beating some of the harder modes and some of the harder bosses with some of the harder characters. That includes Keeper, and that includes the Lost, and that includes both of those characters in Greedier Mode. Of course, beating the Hush and the new boss in the new DLC both come with their own challenges, but we're not going to be covering that in this video. This video is all about Greedier Mode and that big shiny golden butt. So what you're going to want to do is hope you get lucky. Now, I'm not kidding here. You really just want to hope that you get lucky. So what you're going to want to do is take every floor that you can just normally. Just play normally. That's really the trick to this. You just play normally until the right opportunity presents itself. But don't let that scare you away. Use this as an opportunity to practice your dodging skills, your shooting skills, and increase your mastery of each enemy that you come across. Because as the Lost, you still kind of need to know how to dodge things and you need to know what to expect from any enemy that the game throws at you. So beyond getting lucky, what do you need? Well, first off, you need to have the Holy Mantle unlocked for the Lost. That's probably the most important part. It's not required, but it'll definitely make things easier on you in the long run. Now, if you have that Holy Mantle, do not use the D4. Under any circumstances, do not use that D4. Get rid of it as soon as you can. So as for specific items you're looking for, you're going to want to get as much damage early on as possible while avoiding things that could potentially kill you on accident. Things that'll potentially kill you are things that will explode in your face. That includes Bob's Brain, that includes Fire Mind, and in some cases that includes Sticky Bomb Tears. Although that's a little less dangerous, it's a little easier to control. The friendly bomb fly is kind of a pain in the ass too, so you don't want him either. I mean, so far, so normal, right? This is normal Lost stuff. You want damage, you want speed, you want fire rate, and you want stuff that's not going to blow up in your face. No big deal. What you really want, though, is just one very, very specific item that enables this whole strategy. Yep, what you're looking for? You probably guessed it. It's the D20. Well, why do I want the D20, you ask? Well, the D20 rerolls all the items on the floor, all the consumables on the floor. That includes pennies, hearts, bombs, other stuff, and you might be wondering why that's useful. After all, the point of Greed Mode is to get as much money as humanly possible. Well, you're right, but if you're asking that question, what you fail to realize is that these rerolls can turn these consumables on the floor to treasure chests. They can turn into the red chests, the gold chest, the angel chest, the spike chest, the mimic chests even. It can turn into anything. The only catch is that you have to go through all the waves on that floor without collecting any of the money or any of the other consumables that may happen to drop. That, in fact, is probably the biggest challenge here. Another caveat is that you kind of need to have a battery in the shop, or you need to get really lucky and have a pill that's 48-hour energy. So to recap, you need 1, the D20, 2, batteries readily available to you, and 3, to clear a whole floor without picking up any of the money or any of the other consumables. You can accidentally pick up a penny here or there, but the more you pick up, the less your chances are of making this infinite. And if you can have a battery in the shop instead of having to rely on pills, that's even better, because having to rely on the pills is going to get insane after a while, and you'll see why in just a minute. So with all of these ingredients in place, you can probably guess what happens next. You just roll the D20, and boom. All of those pennies that are on the floor, they're now something else. They're probably treasure chests, they're probably cards, they're probably more money. Who knows what they are? Now once you're at this stage, you need to be really careful. You have to remember that 1, you're still on a character that can be 1 or 2 shot, and 2, you have to make sure that you don't pick up anything at this stage. Don't pick up any dimes, don't pick up any pennies or nickels, just open the treasure chests, gather only the money that you need to buy a battery, and then do it again. Then you open more chests, gather enough money to buy a battery, then do it again. And of course, you still need to gather keys to open up the gold chests, and the gold chests are the important part here. After a few cycles, what you're going to end up with is just this amalgamation of drops and consumables, and you're going to have a hard time not picking things up. But you're going to want to be patient and wait to really go ham until you fill the whole room. But what you end up with here is a bit of a game within a game, so you keep doing this infinite engine of creating more and more consumables by re-rolling them into chests. And the great thing about golden chests is that they can sometimes drop passive items and active items. So with this infinity engine you have going, you're going to pick up so many items, you're going to pick up so much power, you're going to pick up so many defensive items. Hopefully you'll get the Aegis, hopefully you'll get a bunch of orbitals to stop things from hurting you. Hopefully your tiers get bigger and more powerful and your fire rate goes insane. You're just gonna want to keep on doing this, probably for a good half hour minimum. Or at least until you feel reasonably confident that you can just absolutely destroy greed. At how much power that is, I don't know. I tend to like to be really safe and do it for about an hour before I move forward. And that's about how long I did it. It started to get really challenging once I filled the room because it's hard to really see all of the items on the pedestals on the treasure chests with so many things in that room. There's keys, there's cards, there's trinkets, you're picking things up left and right. All the while you're looking out for a Perthro rune so you can re-roll the items that you don't want on these pedestals. Because let's face it, you're going to end up with like Mom's Pearl, which you don't want because it can teleport you out of a room if you get hit. You could end up with Fire Mind, which will probably blow up in your face. You could end up with Bob's Brain, which will blow up in your face. Almost guaranteed. There's so many items that you don't want, so you're going to want to avoid those as best as you possibly can. If you pick up any of those, it could just end a run, because as soon as you go down to the next floor and you start fighting, even if your damage is ridiculous and your tiers cover everything, some random explosion could just end your life and boom, run done, you wasted all that time. You gotta try again, hopefully you get that D20 again. Yeah, it's not a situation you want to be in. So just keep digging for those Perthro runes, keep opening those gold chests, keep avoiding all the stuff that you don't need, and keep on buying stuff from the shop. That's not quite the end of the strategy, however. It goes a little bit further. So if you're going through with this strategy, chances are you're gonna have to be a little bit patient. Also, chances are probably pretty good that you're no stranger to min-maxing, at least a little bit. So here's what I want you to do. If you can find at least one of the items that allows you to have 2 cards or runes, you're going to want to pick that up immediately. And the reason for that is you're going to want to take with you a Chaos card if you can find it, and an Algiz rune. Hopefully you can find that. Algiz is the rune that gives you invulnerability for like a full minute. It's absolutely insane for the Lost on these last bosses, so you're really going to want that. If you can't find a Chaos card, it's probably no big deal. I took one with me because I thought I would need it, but honestly, 1 Algiz rune was all that I needed. In fact, I even found a blank card as one of my items, and that was able to duplicate the effect of the Algiz rune, so I didn't even have to use my Algiz rune. I just used my blank card and had invulnerability until I beat both phases of Greed. It was pretty great. In fact, with my run, I probably went a little bit overboard. I had so many orbitals around me, I had so many minions and creatures following me, I was so tiny and I had so many flies because I had Guppy as well, that I couldn't even see where my little character was. He was so hard to see in all of this crap. Not to mention my tiers or the size of the screen. They were literally bigger than the screen. And of course that's why we play The Binding of Isaac, right? To do absolutely ridiculous stuff like this. Granted, runs like this aren't super interesting from a gameplay standpoint, but you gotta beat the run, right? You gotta get that mark on your post-it note as the Lost or as the Keeper. And this is one of the best ways to do it. Granted, this is not a new strategy. This has been around since Greed Mode was in the game because Greed Mode is one of the easiest places to do this. But hey, if you're just learning about it now, Great, glad I could help. Hopefully you can pull it off. All it takes is a little bit of patience, a little bit of luck, and a little bit of item knowledge. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. Hopefully you learned a little bit of something. Hopefully you can put this into practice and get your own post-it notes marked off. And hey, if you're interested in seeing full runs of Isaac, go ahead and head over to my Let's Play channel. I'll be posting new episodes of that for the foreseeable future. So come on over, say hi, laugh at me for dying to something that you probably never would have died to. It's all a good time. And if you liked the video, please be sure to hit that like button on your way out. It definitely helps me out. And be sure to do all that other social media stuff. Follow me on Twitter, hit that subscribe button, blah 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 blah, and I will see you next time.